Welcome back to the Ole Red 99.5's baseball coverage of the NSAA State Tournament. It's a 5-4 lead for Waverly, and the first pitch is ball one from Cale Lade, who's still out on the mound right now for the Vikings. Leading off for Norris, looks like it's Bryce Fountain. Well, excuse me, this actually is going to be John Hood. But he's up in the count 2-0 after two pitches down low. Hood was able to get a base hit, a single in the third, and was able to score a run. Grounds this one foul on the third baseline. It's 2-1. John Hood is kind of that guy that you hope would, if Norris did struggle in the first two innings, that the top of the order and the middle of the order had come up, they would hope that he can be the guy to make the difference. This one is hit straight to shortstop, and having trouble fielding it is Landon Elke. It's going to be a base hit off of an error by the shortstop. And John Hood gets on base off an E6. It was hit straight to Elke, who's standing pretty close to second base, but it just kind of hit the outside of his glove and he didn't really expect that. He actually was grabbing for the ball to see if he can throw it, and it was on the ground next to him. So now it is Bryce Fountain who comes up with a runner on first. They're going to check on Hood at first, and he's safe. They did this a couple times the last time he was on first. It's because Lade is a lefty, and he can see exactly what Hood is doing. Fountain fouls this one off. But remember, Bryce Fountain was down in the count with two strikes after two fouls and still got a base hit back in the third. So here's the pitch. They check actually on Hood for the second time. So you got Fountain with Alex Small on deck. He did have an RBI single back in the third. It was unfortunately thrown out at home. Pitch to Fountain is outside. I believe it's 2-1. Actually, it is a ball and a strike with no outs. The pitch to Fountain, grounded, and that is going to get through the shortstop and third baseman. It's a base hit for Bryce Fountain. Well, it's 5-4. Waverly in the lead. Could this be the way for Norris to get back into this game? They had a 4-0 lead at the end of the top of the third, and it looks like we're going to get a pitching change here for Waverly. It looks like Cale Lade's day is done. No strikeouts, one hit by pitch, no wild pitches, but the sophomore did his job, has his team in the lead. Waverly will have a new pitcher on the mound when we return on Ole Red. Waverly is up over Norris, 5-4 in the top of the fourth inning with two runners on for the Titans and no outs. We'll be back after this. All right, welcome back to Ole Red's baseball coverage of the state tournament, brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital and Health Center, Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, Miller Sales in Claytonia, Building Tech, your Seco Building Systems builder in Beatrice, and Creative Surfaces, your countertop specialists of Beatrice. 5-4 Waverly in the lead. The day is done for Cale Lade. He allowed 4 runs, but he had his team in the lead. As we have the senior, Hunter Claycomb, coming up to pitch for Waverly. Claycomb has a 2.63 ERA and a 2-0 record so far in his season. He goes up against Alex Small as his first hitter with no outs. Small looking to bunt and bunts foul off the backstop. Now Small, by the way, was down 0-2 in the count in the third after attempting to bunt twice and failing to bunt. Then got a base hit RBI. So he can totally get base hits here if he wants. He's just trying to advance the runners, though. The infield is playing in. Shows bunt again. Bunts down the third baseline and foul. So just like last inning, except kind of in a different order, he's down 0-2 in the count after attempting to bunt twice. And Alex Small now is going to have to try and get a base knock here with the leadoff hitter and Logan Michael on deck. Calling for time is Alex Small. They'll reset everything here with Claycomb. Hunter Claycomb, the pitcher now for Waverly, is still a lefty. Here's the pitch. That hit Alex Small right on the arm. Wow, Alex Small gets on base 2 times in back-to-back innings after he was down 0-2 in the count after failing to bunt twice. He's kind of over there laughing because both times he was trying to bunt to get on base. He ends up hitting a base hit, a single, and then getting hit by a pitch this inning. All right, bases loaded for Norris. This could be the way for them to regain the lead here in the 4th. And here's the leadoff hitter, and Logan Michael, who takes one up high for ball 1. Now Michael reached on an error in the 3rd by the pitcher, who at the time was Cale Lade, but now he has a chance to bring home a few runs. That's a beautiful pitch there from Claycomb. It's 1-1 right at the knees there of Michael. Now Michael technically is 0-1 on the day, where he grounded out in the 1st inning. Wow, Michael was trying to go for a moonshot there, swung on and missed. 1-2 with Cale Fountain, one of the best players in the state of Nebraska, on deck. The pitch. This one's hit down the left field line. It's going to be a tough play. I think that one is foul, and it is. So it is foul, so still 2 strikes, though, for Michael, and a 5-4 Waverly advantage in the top of the 4th. Winner gets the day off tomorrow, plays Wednesday morning with 1 win away from the title game. Loser plays tomorrow morning in the elimination game against Lincoln Northwest. That pitch is high. It's 2-2. By the way, no outs either with the bases loaded. Fountain and Monroe, the next 2 batters up. That's foul tipped and off the backstop. Thought for a minute it might have gone into the glove, but it's still 2-2. Logan Michael. That error back in the 3rd, which he reached on base, did end up scoring, by the way, a run. Here's the pitch. High foul ball. High up in the air. And over to try to make the catch was Bruin Sampson, the first baseman. And you know what I think? I think he's thinking he could have made that catch, but there was a little bit of fan interference. There were some fans there that made things more difficult there for Bruin Sampson. He couldn't make the catch. So it's still a 2-2 count here for Logan Michael, who fouls off back-to-back pitches. The wind is also starting to pick up here. This one's grounded, straight to short, could be a double play. Throw to second in time, throw to first, not in time. And a run scores. Norris has tied the game at 5. Scoring from 3rd base is going to be John Hood. Advancing to 3rd base is Bryce Fountain. Out at 2nd is Alex Small for the first out of the inning, but they couldn't turn 2, and Logan Michael is on base with a fielder's choice. What a heads-up play, though, by Logan Michael. He was able to dive. He dove like he was stealing 2nd or 3rd to first base so that he could get there in time to beat out the double play. Here's Cale Fountain, the Tiger in just a few months. Titan for now, Tiger in a few months as they check on Michael at first. Runners on the corners with 1 down in a 5-5 ball game. And we've been treated to some pretty good games so far this state tournament. As Fountain takes one outside. It's 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Pitch down low, 2-0. Now this kid, Cale Fountain, like we said, he's mature. He said when he steps in that in the batter's box, he says he represents his family, not just himself. And his brother's on the team too, so I'm sure his brother feels the same way. A baseball family. As Fountain fouls one off. It's now 2-1. Fountain says he was able to sit in the stands last year when LSU came to Omaha and won the title over Florida. He was able to sit in the stands and watch the Tigers national championship, the same team he'll be going to in just a few months. Fountain cracks one. That's going to score a run right into right field. As a line drive into right, it's going to score a run. Norris is back in the lead. Cale Fountain with an RBI single. It's going to score his brother, Bryce, from third. Michael advances to second. Fountain is on first. Norris back up 6-5 in what has been a thriller so far this afternoon. And for the fans here, they still have one more game after this. Elkhorn North Gretna East should be just as good as this. That'll be coming up next, but Old Red will have whatever game Norris advances to. This one's cracked into center field. Next, first pitch, and it's hit in the center by Jordan Monroe. Staying at third base is Logan Michael. Advancing to second is Fountain. Monroe is on first, and the bases are loaded for the Titans with one down. And this is actually going to be still Crew Moeller. Despite him getting replaced, he was technically the DH as well, along with the pitcher. So since he's not pitching, he still is the DH, so he will still be in the order. Crew Moeller will crack one in between the gap between second and third. This might score 2 runs. Michael scores from third. Cale Fountain scores from second. It's an RBI double. A 2-run RBI double for Crew Moeller. And Norris has opened this game back up here in the fourth. All of a sudden, it's a completely different ball game. 7-4 Titans in the lead. And Jordan Monroe is all the way at third base. There's only one out, and we get another mound visit. In this inning alone, 2 mound visits for Waverly. And they are going to bring in a new pitcher. Not the day that Hunter Claycomb would have wanted on the mound. Came in to try and keep his team in the lead with 2 base runners on and no outs. Well, he ends up giving up 4 runs. And it's a 7-4 Norris lead. We'll be back as the new pitcher warms up. It looks like it's going to be number 9, Nash Peterson, the senior, will come into the game for Waverly. And we'll pitch when we come back on All Red. All right, welcome back to this NSAA State Baseball Tournament on All Red. I want to correct myself. I think I said it was 7-4 Norris. It's actually 8-5 Norris in the lead. Norris has scored 4 runs in this inning after trailing 5-4 heading into the inning. 8-5 is the lead for the Titans. As this game is brought to you by Clausen & Sons Dirtwork of Beatrice, Premier Chevrolet Buick GMC of Beatrice. Discover the premier difference. Titan Nutrition in downtown Hickman, and Complete Insurance is proud to support the Norris Titans. Well, the Norris Titans are having quite the inning right now. Nash Peterson comes in to pitch for Waverly. 3-3 record this season, 6.78 ERA, highest on the team. And he'll have to go up against a good middle of the order here for Norris. It looks like it's Logan White who will be coming up to hit. He is 0 for 1 today. He grounded out back in the second inning to third base, but he did draw a walk in the third and stole a base as well, but was held because of that third out in the third. He wasn't able to score a run, but you got White, then Hoover at least. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Showing bunt is White. He checks back, and immediately a first pitch strike thrown down the chute for the new man on the mound in Peterson. It's 8-5 in favor of Norris. That pitch, a ball for a 1-1 count. Still, like I said, only 1 out. Alex Small was courtesy of that out to second base on a fielder's choice. Pitch down in the dirt, 2-1. The Norris dugout, now the dugout's facing away from our press box, but I can still hear them pretty well. They're getting very hyped down there, trying to will their team on to get more runs, give themselves more of a lead. 4 runs isn't enough. We saw that. This one's laced out into left center. It's going to drop. And scoring from third base is going to be Jordan Monroe as the throw is not in time. Monroe scores. Moeller will stay at second. Logan White has a base hit now. It's an RBI. 9-5 Norris. Brody Hoover comes up. The danger is not done yet for Waverly. It's funny because none of the guys in this lineup for Norris is really any worse than the other. I mean, they're all good hitters. They can all get on base. We've seen it. And for the second straight inning, Norris is about to go through the order again. And that is a hit by pitch. And you can see how much it means to Brody Hoover. He pumps his fist. He just got hit by a fastball. He doesn't care. He has now the bases loaded. And here is John Hood, who has already come up in this inning to bat and reached on an error by the shortstop and also scored a run. He has the bases loaded, and Brody Hoover, yeah, it's funny. He had a lot of adrenaline when he was hit by that pitch from the excitement, but now he's starting to limp a little bit. It's probably starting to hit him a little bit, that pain. Looks like he's okay, though. He's ready to take off and run at any contact of the bat if he gets the chance. John Hood has the bases loaded with one down, and this one's fouled off on the first pitch. One of the Fountain brothers is on deck, Bryce Fountain. I mean, he's batting 8th in the order, and he's going to Nebraska in a few years. It's just incredible how much depth this Norris team has. Here's the 0-1, fouled off again, so it's 0-2. Nash Peterson trying to make it through this inning. If you're just joining us on All Red, 9-5, Norris leads it over Waverly in the top of the fourth. Bases loaded with one out. John Hood is at the plate. Here's the delivery. Oh, that's a great pitch for strike three. Caught Hood looking. And if you can even believe it, Waverly has just thrown out their first strikeout of the game. They did not have a strikeout before this. It took them nearly 4 innings to do so. But there's 2 down on John Hood's strikeout. And here is Bryce Fountain with the bases loaded and 2 down. First pitch down in the dirt, 1-0. Now this is probably a lot of pressure here on Bryce Fountain. He's just a sophomore, but he has a lot of pressure right now on him. That pitch beautifully placed right on the inside edge of the strike zone for a 1-1 count. So 1 ball, 1 strike, the pitch. Down low again, 2-1 to Fountain, the future Husker. And that's why this team is such a baseball family. I mean, one of the guys going to play for the Tigers of LSU in the SEC, the other guy playing for the Huskers in the Big Ten. Cut quite the repertoire for that family. Here's the 2-1. Inside, 3-1. Hitters count here for Bryce Fountain. Bases loaded and a 9-5 lead. This could get worse for Waverly. 3-1 pitch. There it is. Beautiful pitch by Nash Peterson. Attacked the strike zone. I don't think Fountain wanted to swing at that one, and it's full count, 3-2. This could be one of the biggest pitches of the game when it's all said and done. 3-2, bases loaded. The pitch. Down in the dirt. Ball 4. Fountain draws a walk. It brings home a run. It's going to be Crew Moeller, who comes home after the walk. Advancing to third is Logan White. Advancing to second is Brody Hoover. And going to first is Bryce Fountain. Here's Alex Small now. He came up in this inning and was hit by pitch. And Small pops this one high in the air in shallow right field. On the run is the right fielder, Nolan Motts, and he makes the catch. And the damage has been done, though, for Norris. 6 runs in the inning. And they have a 10-5 lead over Waverly heading to the bottom of the fourth. Big inning for the Titans. Can they get the job done defensively? We'll find out next on Ole Red. Welcome back to the Ole Red's coverage of the NSAA State Baseball Tournament, brought to you by Star Buco Insurance in Fairbury, Western United Mutual Insurance Home Office in Wilbur, Match Express Food Shop and Oil, your Sinclair Gas and Diesel stations in Fairbury, Husker Rehab in Fairbury, Beatrice Lincoln in Nebraska City, and Star Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning in Fairbury. A 6-run top of the fourth inning by the Titans of Norris. And they have a 10-5 lead with Waverly trying to respond. Now remember, Waverly in the bottom of the third inning did go through their entire order and scored 5 runs. So any lead is not safe unless that final out of the game is recorded. Anything can happen here in Omaha this afternoon. I mean, actually, we're getting into the evening here. It's nearly 5:30 p.m. local time. First pitch now to Brennan Miller, who batted last inning and flew out to shortstop. Cale Fountain made the catch. It's funny, actually, because Waverly actually got an immediate first out in the third and still ended up scoring 5 runs. Here's a pop-up high into foul territory. Bryce Fountain's on the run for it, trying to make the catch, and it goes a little bit too far out of play, and it's going to be a 1-1 count to Brendan Miller. So this inning it would be Miller, Garrett Ryan, who did score last inning, and then Hunter Tomes, who also scored as well last inning. 1-1 count, though, for Porter Dutter, who's still out on the mound in this game. For Norris, here's the pitch. Down the chute, beautiful pitch by Dutter. 1-2. He came into this game in place of Crew Moeller, who did end up scoring last inning. Dutter won't hit, but Moeller still will, since he is the DH. The pitch. That one's popped high in the air. Now taking off his mask and running for it is Logan Michael. That one's going to go out of play again. So both fly balls in foul territory. Bryce Fountain and Logan Michael thought they could catch it. The wind said otherwise. Now it's a 1-2. The pitch. That is just a tad outside. Norris fans thought that was a strikeout. Not quite. It's 2-2. Now, I can't say anything from up here because I am down the third baseline, so I have no angle of the plate. Here's the 2-2. That one's down low and inside. It's full count. Waverly hoping they can get at least their first runner of the inning on. Try to put the pressure on the Titans. 2-2, or excuse me, 3-2 is actually fouled off the back netting. So still a full count with no outs. Loser of this game takes on Lincoln Northwest tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. For Norris, it would be a rematch of that game on Saturday, in which they won 13-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again off the back netting. For Waverly, meanwhile, if they were to lose this game and play Lincoln Northwest, Waverly also played Lincoln Northwest twice this season. They won the first game 13-9 on the road, lost the second one in the regional or in the district final 6-2, which actually allowed Lincoln Northwest to make the state tournament. This one's a high fly ball down the right foul line. On the run for it is Brody Hoover, and the wind just took that out of play. The wind is really blowing now from left to right. And that one completely took that ball out of play. Brody Hoover did have a read on it out in right field down the foul line and just couldn't jump the fence that high, but still a full count. Three balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Another foul ball. That is now the 5th foul ball of this at-bat alone. That's the 3rd foul ball since this count rang up to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Still a 3-2 pitch. And that is a high fly ball into left field. Is that fair or foul? And gone. It's foul. And for the 4th straight pitch of another 3-2 count after a foul ball. Brendan Miller is making life very difficult here for Porter Dutter. I can confirm that. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. There's a great off-speed pitch by Dutter, so he wins the duel with a strikeout on Brendan Miller to lead off the 4th. First strikeout of the game for Dutter. Second of the game for Norris, as Mueller had one as well. Here's Garrett Ryan coming up to the plate. Hit by pitch back in the 3rd. Scored a run. First pitch is a fastball swung on and missed by Ryan. Going back to that strikeout, great off-speed pitch by Dutter. Just got Miller to swing early. Here's the 0-1. Skips up in the dirt, and it's a 1-1 count. If you're just joining us, it is the bottom of the 4th inning here on what has become a beautiful day after a rainy beginning of the day. sun is actually shining through the clouds. That pitch is beautifully placed in the strike zone for a 1-2 count. The score is 10-5. Norris in the lead. One down here in the bottom of the fourth for the Waverly Vikings. The pitch. Cracked out into shallow center field. Gunning on the run and colliding with each other are two Titans. And the catch is made, though, by John Hood, the center fielder, but down still is Jordan Monroe as he collided with his teammate. I don't think any of them called for the ball, and they both went for it. The catch was made. It looks like Jordan Monroe is slow to get up, but it looks like he is walking back out into left field. That was hit right into left center. So there is, though, 2 outs after the catch by John Hood, but I think just something to be said by Alex Small to his pitcher. Third baseman coming over and saying something to Dutter. Here's the top of the order now for the Vikings, Hunter Tomes. Still a long way to go in this ball game. A long way. This one's not over yet, not even close. First pitch fouled off by Hunter Tomes, who has reached base twice this afternoon on a walk. Scored a run last inning. This would be a lot more comfortable for Norris if they can make it 1-2-3 compared to that last inning where they gave up 5 runs. This one's fouled and down the first base line. 0-2 is the count with 2 down. 5-run Norris lead. Dutter eyeing up Tomes. Delivers. Cracked down the left foul line. Can the play be made by Monroe? Yes, it can. Caught in foul territory by Jordan Monroe, the left fielder. And it's a 1-2-3 inning by the Norris Titans defensively. Porter Dutter gets it done, and Norris takes a 10-5 lead into the top half of the 5th inning. And leading off will be Alex Small here in the top of the 5th when we return on All Red. Welcome back to the NSAA State Baseball Tournament, which is brought to you by Chapel Roofing in Fairbury, Riverside Chevrolet in Fairbury, Jefferson Community Health and Life in Fairbury, and Members Owned Credit Union in Beatrice and Lincoln. 10-5 Norris lead heading to the top half of the 5th. And Nash Peterson for Waverly came in to get the Vikings out of that 4th inning, which saw Norris score 6 runs. Well, Nash Peterson's not out there anymore. It's actually Logan Klopek, who is the junior coming into this game with a 3.50 ERA and has not won a game yet this season on the mound. 0-3. He'll be hoping to at least give his team a little bit of a lifeline by making it more difficult here for Norris to get hits, as they, like I said, scored 6 runs last inning. They did not find it hard to get hits. So here is Alex Small. Actually, this looks like this is not Alex Small. We'll get this in a minute. Looks like this is actually going to be Logan Michael, my apologies, to lead off this inning. Michael takes a strike. When Michael was able to reach on a fielder's choice and score a run last inning. And winding up for the pitch and not pitching, though, was Klopek, and that was close to a balk. Not quite, though. Here's the next pitch, swung on and missed. 1-2 to Logan Michael. Norris trying to have the day off tomorrow. Fouled by Michael down the first base line. So for the past 2 innings, a trend that Waverly would want to end right here in the 5th, Norris has been through the order completely in the past 2 innings straight. Scored 4 runs in the 3rd, 6 in the 4th, and have a 10-5 lead. It would be Logan Michael, Cale Fountain, Jordan Monroe up to the plate. And Michael, it's a high fly ball out into left center field. Easily getting a read on it, making the catch is Hunter Tomes, who is out in center field for the first out. So 1 down as the sensation here on this Norris team. Cale Fountain comes up to the plate. It's worth mentioning that Logan Klopek is a righty and hits Cale Fountain right on the back, right where it says number 24 on the back of his jersey. Hit by pitch for Cale Fountain, and unfortunately for Cale, that's the second time he's been hit by a pitch this evening. I'm sure that doesn't feel too good, but does give Norris a chance to have some runners on. Here's Jordan Monroe to the plate now, the runner on first. First pitch just a tad low and outside for ball one. Lincoln Northwest, by the way, getting a big win over Beatrice earlier on this afternoon. They check on Fountain at first. He's safe. It was a big win for Lincoln Northwest, a 3-2 upset win over the Orangemen of Beatrice, the state champions just a few years ago in 2021. This one's chopped and foul by Monroe. Elkhorn North and Gretna East will play after this game. And Blair beat Plattsmouth earlier on this afternoon to eliminate Plattsmouth. That pitch is up high. I believe it's a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Runner on first. The pitch is now fouled off again by Monroe. So if you're wondering about the bracket, the 1 seed and the 8 seed and the 4 seed and the 5 seed play at the top of the bracket, which is Norris, Lincoln Northwest, Beatrice, and Waverly. The 2 seed, 7 seed, 3 seed, and 6 seed play at the bottom of the bracket. Fountain takes off and tries to steal second. This one's fouled off, though. By the way, the 2 seed Elkhorn North, 7 seed Blair, 3 seed, Gretna East, 6 seed Plattsmouth. Norris actually had the most commanding win in those games on Saturday with a 13-2 win. Everybody else had a closer game with an 8-5 win for Waverly, 7-3 for Elkhorn North, 5-4 for Gretna East. Norris had a comfortable one on Saturday. He's being tested a little bit more this afternoon as that one was fouled off, and it's still, I believe, a 2-2 count. Monroe grounds this one straight to third. Scooped up on a hop, and the throw over to first is past the glove of Bruin Sampson. Brennan Miller makes a mistake. This is going to be an error on one of the guys, either the third baseman or the first baseman. I think this might be on the third baseman. It's going to be a base hit, though. Reaching off of an error is Jordan Monroe. He gets to second base, so it'll be an error on the third baseman. Fountain goes to third, and runners are on second and third for the Titans off of an error by Brennan Miller. Over at third, he threw it across the diamond, and it was low and bounced on the ground past the glove of Bruin Sampson and into right foul territory. Now it looks like we're going to get just a visit here by the catcher here. As looks like something's happening. Okay, so I believe Cale Fountain is cramping over at third base, and they're stretching out. They're stretching him out at third. I think that's why there's a stoppage. So Fountain gets back up and jumps up. I think he's feeling better now, but that probably gives Waverly also a chance to discuss things on the mound as well. A little bit of a break, but also it gives Coach Bartholomew a chance to discuss things with his runners as we get Crew Muller back up to bat here. He's reached on a double, an RBI double, scored 2 runs last inning. Crew Muller grounds this one straight to short, and it goes right past the glove of Landon Elke. Scoring from third base is going to be Fountain. Rounding third and scoring from second is Monroe. And it gets from bad to worse for Waverly. 12-5 lead for Norris. I think that's going to be an error by the shortstop Landon Elke. But Crew Muller gets to first base off an error, an E6. Norris has now scored 12 runs or more in both games so far in the state tournament, looking to make it 13 or more in both games. If they can score one more, they put 13 on Lincoln Northwest last Saturday. And E6 will be the official call, scoring 2 runs. So it won't be any RBIs for Moeller, but either way, 2 runs come home. You can't complain about that in the state tournament. And here's Logan White comes up to the plate. If you're just joining us, top of the 5th inning, Logan White is up to bat with 1 down here in the 5th. Taking off and trying to steal second base is Moeller. The throw is a beautiful one, and he's out. He's getting caught stealing second. Drew Cook, an incredible throw there to Zach Schwong. Or excuse me, that was actually Landon Elke, the shortstop. So Elke makes up for his error the previous play. And it's going to be Crew Moeller caught stealing for the second out in this inning. So the score is 12-5 Norris with 2 outs, nobody on in the top of the 5th. And it's fouled off by Logan White. I believe the count is a ball and a strike. After that first pitch was a ball, but it was a great play by the catcher Cook to throw the runner out. So I believe it's actually 1-2 is the count. Ball and 2 strikes, the pitch to finish out the side. Got it. Strikeout there for Logan Klopek. His first of the game comes to end the top of the 5th by striking out Logan White. But runs are scored once again for the Titans. 2 runs score. Cale Fountain and Jordan Monroe score in this inning. And it's Norris up 12-5 heading to the bottom of the 5th on Ole Red. Welcome back to Ole Red's coverage of the NSAA State Baseball Tournament. Brought to you by Need Financing for heavy machinery, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, RVs, ATVs, or other expensive items. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Titan Nutrition in downtown Hickman. And Complete Insurance is proud to support the Norris Titans. 12-5 lead for Norris. Waverly needs to get something going here in the bottom half of the 5th, trailing by 7 runs. It's going to be Elke who leads things off for Waverly. So far in this game, he's reached twice on a walk, or twice on walks. He leads things off in this inning against Porter Dutter, who's still out in the game on the mound. First pitch was fouled off, second one in the dirt, it's 1-1. So you got Elke, Cook, Bruin, Sampson coming up to bat here in this inning. That pitch up high, right at the letters on the jersey. 2-1. Now, if Norris loses this game, they play 10 a.m. tomorrow against Lincoln Northwest. If they win, they play Wednesday at 10 a.m. That one's chopped up. Going to be a really tough play for the third baseman, Alex Small. He doesn't have a play, but I think that was actually a foul ball. Hit right behind the plate. And that's actually a real break for Alex Small. That one was high up in the air for a long time. Small couldn't really get a glove on the ball before Elke was already at first base. So a break there for Norris. That would have been a base hit and a really tough play for Small at third. It's still, though, a 2-2 count. Here's Dutter. The delivery. Oh, almost a great breaking ball, but great eye from Elke to lay off that one, and it's a full count. (12-5), Norris leads it. Bottom half of the 5th. The pitch. Popped up high in the air. Elke slams his bat down in frustration, and making the play right next to first base in foul territory is Bryce Fountain to record the first out of the inning. So there's one down here in the 5th. And Elke slams his bat down in frustration, like I said. Waverly had a 5-4 lead at one point in this game. They had the lead. And things have just not went well defensively for the Vikings. And they haven't been able to keep up with the high scoring of Norris. First pitch fouled off by Drew Cook. Drew Cook in this game is 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play in the first, sacrifice fly in the third, but with that sacrifice fly comes an RBI. The pitch, breaking ball down in the dirt, 1-1. Well, if Norris wins this game, or I should say if any team wins this game at this point, there's still a lot of time left, They would play Wednesday at 10 a.m., and then they would play right after if they were to lose. That pitch just high makes it 3-1. In the NSAA State Baseball Tournament, it's a double elimination, so you have to have 2 losses to be eliminated. And the winner of this game would have no losses, meaning they would have to lose twice in one day to the same team to not make it to the state championship. Pitch in the dirt. I believe it's a full count at 3-2. We're actually going to get Logan Michael's going to run out to his pitcher here and have a discussion with him just to make sure they're on the same page. But that's why winning a game like this is so important. You would have pretty much a 2-game advantage over the opponent that you would be playing on Wednesday if you were to win this game. Your opponent would have to win twice. You would have to lose twice. You would have a major advantage. This one's grounded to Cale Fountain at short. He makes the throw to first to his brother Bryce, and he makes the play. And there's 2 down on a 6-3 second out for the Titans. Bruin Sampson comes up to the plate. Whoever makes it through the top half of the bracket, whether it's Lincoln Northwest, Norris, or Waverly, would be playing on Friday in the championship game at 3:30 p.m. at Warner Park. Here's the pitch here to Sampson, and that one curves in there. I think that was called a ball, so it's 1-0. But what a performance on the mound by Porter Dutter. He's come in for Crew Muller, who is struggling in the third, and has done a really good job shutting down Waverly's offense after they had an incredible third inning where they scored 5 runs. That pitch was in there for strike 1, and it's a 1-1 count. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, 12-5 Norris lead over Waverly. That pitch is cracked down the left foul line, and this is going to be Jordan Monroe, who was able to make the catch out in left field. So 1-2-3, bottom of the 5th for the Titans of Norris. Porter Dutter is doing his job on the mound in incredible fashion. Norris takes a 12-5 lead into the top half of the 6th inning. Only a few more innings to go for Norris to be playing on Wednesday in a game that could bring them to the state title game. We'll be back after this on All Red.